get right at it with House Oversight Chair James Comer. Congressman, thank you so much for joining us. A lot of coverage, of course, of Hurricane Idalia, a terrible storm, Category 1 hurricane, landed as a Cat 3, widespread damage, at least 2 dead. Let's get to this news out of your committee. Oversight is investigating the White House response to the deadly wildfires in Maui. Why?
Well, anything pertaining to tax dollars, we want to investigate. We hear and we've seen where anytime after any type of destruction, you have a lot of shysters that roll in. We know that the Biden administration was slow to the scene in Hawaii, and the slower the government takes to get there, we found the more corruption exists. So we want to make sure that tax dollars are going to where they're supposed to go, to the people who need it the most. And I don't believe the people in Hawaii feel like the government has gotten their back thus far in this crisis. So we just want to probe and make sure tax dollars are spent where they're supposed to be spent.
Chair Comer, let's move on to this. Will House Republicans launch an impeachment inquiry into President Biden after Labor Day?
I feel pretty confident we will. I had a long conversation with Speaker McCarthy yesterday. You look at what we found just in the last 10 days with respect to not only the president having pseudonyms in 5,400 emails, but also copying his son in some of them pertaining to Ukraine. That ties Joe Biden to Hunter Biden, to firing the prosecutor for no good reason in Ukraine, only to save Hunter from being investigated for corruption in Ukraine. We also have learned that Hunter Biden flew with his father on Air Force Two 15 times at least. This hasn't been something that Joe Biden has admitted to in the past. He's only said a few times did his son fly on Air Force Two. So the evidence continues to pile in, and one reason that we've waited this long on impeachment inquiry is to make sure that we had as much evidence as possible. And getting this evidence is like pulling teeth. No one in the Biden orbit is cooperating with us. The government is obstructing, but yet we're still able to find more evidence. And I think that everyone in the Republican conference sees now that we have no choice but to move towards impeachment inquiry.
So you and Congressman Byron Donalds are demanding the National Archives release Biden's travel records on Air Force Two and Marine Two when he was vice president. Why do you want those records?
Because the president hasn't been truthful about anything pertaining to his son. He said his son never got any money from China. We learned that was blatantly false. He said he never spoke to any of the crooks who were wiring money to the president's son. We found that he spoke to all of them. Now we found that he was traveling with the president, then vice president, to these countries to try to help these people who were sending money. I don't think anyone in America believes that these foreign nationals were just sending the Bidens money to their shell companies out of the goodness of their heart. These were all people who were being investigated for corruption in their countries, whether it be Romania, whether it be Ukraine, whether it be Russia. All of these people that were sending the Bidens had one thing in common. They were in trouble. They were bad people in trouble in bad countries. They were paying Hunter Biden to receive help from Joe Biden through the administration to help them get out of trouble. And what we've seen in Ukraine, what we've learned in the last 10 days is that actually happened. Joe Biden actually delivered on something. He delivered on firing the prosecutor. And what we're finding is they created this narrative that Victor Shokin was corrupt. Why no one ever questioned that back when Joe Biden flew to Ukraine to withhold the foreign aid for in return for firing Shokin? I don't know. But we now know that the Obama Secretary of State's office sent Shokin a letter praising him for his reform effort. So there was never any evidence that Shokin was corrupt. This is all new information we found in the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Now, we've got the Washington Examiner reporting Hunter Biden's business boomed, that they started to make millions of dollars after Vice President Biden sat down at key dinners with Hunter's business partners from Ukraine, Kazakhstan, and Russia starting in 2014. Is the National Archives, are they going to release the 5,400 emails and records where then Vice President Biden used fake email accounts and aliases? I mean, they already had at least 20, shell companies that you found to take in cash overseas. So why the fake email accounts? Is the National Archives going to give you the information?
How ironic is it that the guy who created 20 fake companies to receive money from foreign nationals that would then be laundered to their family members also have at least 3 fake names, 3 pseudonyms that he used in receiving official government emails. And the most concerning thing is we found that Hunter was copied on them, which ties Joe to Hunter and to the shady business dealings. That's why we want to know how many times they flew on Air Force Two, so we can go back and figure out who all they met with while they were in these countries. But at the end of the day, because the emails happened during the Obama administration, President Obama has to give us permission. He has to grant the National Archives permission to let us have those emails. He has 30 days to review those emails and decide. So we're in 1 week. We've got 3 more weeks waiting on whether or not Obama will grant us permission. So that's where we are with respect to those 5,400 emails in the pseudonyms.
You know, it could be argued Biden waived his privacy rights when he basically, broke the rules on keeping public business. If you find that, out of private emails, including fake emails that he set up. Let's watch MSNBC on why they think House Republicans, why MSNBC thinks the reason why House Republicans want to do an impeachment inquiry of President Biden. Watch this.
So Kevin McCarthy is saying he's getting all his ducks in a row for impeachment. It's ridiculous. They're going to impeach Biden for being old. I mean, I really don't know what.
For existing
and being named Biden.
You're going to do an impeachment inquiry because he's old and for existing? What do you think, Congressman?
I can't say on TV what I think about Joy Reid, but let me say this. They impeached Joe Biden the first time for calling Zelensky, asking him if he knew about corruption.
You mean Trump?
That Joe Biden committed. They
Trump.
impeached Trump. Yeah, they impeached Trump for simply calling Zelensky, asking him if he knew about corruption with Biden. Now, what we found is there was corruption with Biden. And what the Democrats claimed they impeached Joe Biden over was a quid pro quo. The quid pro quo in Ukraine was Joe Biden. It wasn't Donald Trump. Joy Reid should feel like a fool. Rachel Maddow should feel like a fool. Everyone on MSNBC that continues to defend the indefensible should feel like fools. That's why Joe Biden's tanking in the polls, not because he's old and decrepit and a weak leader. He's tanking in the polls because he's corrupt. Every American knows it's not normal to have 20 shell companies. Every American knows it's not normal for your granddaughter to receive wires from foreign nationals. And everyone knows it's not normal to lie about meeting with all these people who sent your family all this money. Joe Biden lies every day about his involvement and his knowledge in his family's crooked business dealings. And the day has come for the press to step up and accept responsibility that they got the story wrong. And Joe Biden does deserve to go through an impeachment inquiry to find out 100% of all the crimes that were committed by his family.
We have to move on to this. House Judiciary, led by Chair Jim Jordan, sent a letter to AG Garland asking why did special counsel, also it looks like you were on this letter and Ways and Means Chair Smith. Why did, special counsel Jack Smith's top aide, Jay Bratt, meet repeatedly with the Biden White House before indictments were handed down and delivered and, pushed through by Jack Smith? So what's going on there? Final word.
We don't know. There should be no reason for that special counsel's office to meet with the White House. The only thing that we can think of is they're coordinating. We believe that the White House coordinated with Alvin Bragg. We believe they're coordinating with Fani Willis. We believe all of this is coordination because the White House is in panic mode because the House Oversight Committee has found their corruption, the corruption dating back to his years as vice president. That's why we're concerned about his presidency. We believe he's compromised because countries like Ukraine, Russia, and China know that he broke the law. He was on the take, and we have evidence. And that's why they're trying to distract with all of this Trump-coordinated court hearings now.
Got it. Chair Comer, thanks for joining us tonight. We'll stay on the story. We hope to have you back on again soon.